All right, and my colleague Jessica Taneja joins me in the studio on the story. Hi Jessica, how are you doing?
Oh, good so far.
Yeah. Now with Kim vowing his support to Russia, the big question here is, what is North Korea getting out of it?
Well, quite a lot, frankly, and this support, both that Russia provides to North Korea provides to Russia, has, roots before the Soviet dissolution. And you recall that, at this point, Russia could really rely and depend on the artillery that was of the Soviet era, which it desperately needs right now, apart from getting, military-industrial support from China. While North Korea comes in, you see how so far it has provided 100 missiles, 100 ballistic missiles and about 9 million artillery shells, if reports are to be believed. That's a lot of help. And what is North Korea getting in return? Well, it's aiming to advance its nuclear weapons program, something that it already possesses in a certain way. It possesses nuclear weapons, but not on its intercontinental ballistic missile, which North Korea has quite a few. And, of course, there are warnings that the US intelligence has put out where, those missiles could reach America. So there are concerns when it comes to the US and its Western allies. But when you look at what North Korea gets in return, is not by only providing, say, now 30,000 troops, 11,000 are already serving in the Kursk region. In the Donbass region, they're also helping for reconstruction efforts since, there was a minor incursion there, and Russia has deployed a lot of engineers and workers who are there. And the labor mobility pact with North Korea has been in place for many, many years now. But this new military reinforcement is just another way of sort of cementing the pact that they already have. As you pointed out in your report as well, Russian President Vladimir Putin went to North Korea. Both the leaders met and they solidified their military alliance to the extent that if there is an attack on one, the other would provide unconditional military support. So with such sort of dynamics in place, it is evident why there is a mutual support. But for North Korea, a country that cannot deal with the economic severities, the poverty reductions it desperately needs right now, its people are starving, it's a completely closed country, heavily sanctioned by the world.
Correct.
So certainly there are more ways that, North Korea would want to bring in some money back home. Either it's through the acceptability of labor force in Russia, or be it military personnel that are sent, and those military personnel sent come at a good cost, because it helps North Korea build on its nuclear weapons program. So
Right.
Certainly an aim of North Korea is to have those intercontinental ballistic missiles with nuclear capabilities. So it's a good barter for North Korea in that sense, and it has very few allies, let alone partners in the world. So Russia, with its pre-Soviet era ties, is the partner it needs, and frankly, Russia needs North Korea too.
Definitely. So it's a heavy barter, we can say, and it all comes down to nuclear programs and money. Can we say that? Yes or no?
Well, a lot more than that, but certainly yes.
All right. Jessica, also, if at all, will this change the security dynamics of the region, if at all?
Oh, absolutely it does, because you see the recent trilateral exercise between US, South Korea and Japan has caused quite a stir, not just with Sergei Lavrov issuing a statement there in Wonsan, as you pointed out. And Wonsan, as I may say, is also an interesting resort that, the North Koreans have built to sort of open their economy and allow tourists to come in. But when it comes to, dealing with issues of the Korean Peninsula and the military buildup in the Korean Peninsula, something that North Korea and along with Russia now have called out the West for and said that this is not acceptable, because as you see from the time of the Korean War, which is 1950 to 53, when North Korea invaded South Korea, and ever since we've had sort of ceasefire that exists there with a potential demilitarized zone. All of that happening, the military buildup is what is absolutely unacceptable for North Korea right now. But for the US, Japan and South Korea, it's important because the way the nuclear program of North Korea is advancing, and there is very little known about it. There are few intelligence inputs available on to what level has it reached. Does it have the kind of aid from Russia where it's completely building up its nuclear arsenal? Now, the world knows that North Korea has nuclear weapons. But does it have that kind of capability that could have a potential weapon on a an intercontinental ballistic missile, which it aims to fire at the United States if it deems fit? So, given its military preoccupation and the kind of dynamics that are emerging with the neo-Axis powers, as they say now in the academic world. It'll be interesting to see how this pans out. Now that Sergei Lavrov is going to China, another point of another turn of events, as we'll see, because North Korea has been inviting Russian tourists, but it hasn't been inviting the Chinese. So there's a lot of question on where that little exchange is going, even though China is a close friend or someone who has always come in to help North Korea whenever it's had certain issues here and there.
All right, wonderful analysis there, Jessica. Thank you so much.